我们都知道精准医疗的时代来了，那么精准医疗最重要的一个部分呢，就是早期的诊断。那早期诊断的产品，我们究竟要做哪些的 detection？ 我们今天很高兴请到了 One Test CEO-Jonathan。Hi.
Hi. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning. 他今天会来跟我们介绍一下这种精准医疗的早期诊断到底要怎么样做，或到底怎么样去挑选一个好的商品。Jonathan, we know the precision medicine era is coming, so I think that the early detection is very important. But how or who might do the early detection?
Right. So first of all, thank you for having me. Jonathan Cohen, CEO of 2020 GeneSystems. We are based in Rockville, Maryland, just outside of our nation's capital of Washington, D.C. And our mission as a company is to save lives around the world through early detection.
Yes.
Now, recent studies from leading cancer geneticists at Johns Hopkins have shown that most of the genetic mutations that cause cancer are not caused by inherited genes from our parents or even from environmental factors or lifestyle.
Yes.
The majority, more than 50%, are caused from random mutations over time.
50%?
More than 50%, and a lot of people don't appreciate that.
Yes.
So our belief is that cancer screening is for everyone, everywhere, every year. It is not only for people who smoke. It is not only for people who have a parent that died of cancer. It's not only for the rich. Everyone should be screened regularly for cancer. And in fact, in this part of the world, in this country, and in this region, we think that your system is in many ways better than ours in the West. Ours in the fact that people come every year. Many people go to what's called a health check center.
Yeah, health check, yes.
And they spend hours doing checkups.
Yes.
We have nothing like that in the United States.
Oh, really?
People do not get routinely screened for very many cancers in the United States. So in many respects, Taiwan and surrounding nations, we believe, have it correct. And that's why this is such an important market for us.
Okay, so as I know, the One Test has been collaborated with the Taiwan's hospital for quite long. Can you just share that with us first?
Sure. So as you point out, one of the leading hospitals in Taiwan have been offering a panel of what are called tumor markers. Some of your readers and listeners may know. These include markers like CEA, AFP, PSA. So we're not right now looking at genes or DNA. We are looking at proteins or antigens. So for many years, these tests have been offered here in Taiwan at health check centers. And what our collaborators did is they went and they looked and they did a study to see how good are they, how accurate are they. And they went to the cancer registry, the National Cancer Registry here in Taiwan, and they said of these 40,000 people that were tested over 15 years, how many had cancer and how many did not. And then we partnered with them and we used their data to build machine learning algorithms, a type of AI or artificial intelligence.
So it's deep learning
it's not deep learning, but it's other types of machine learning, where we integrate clinical factors, things like age, gender, smoking history, together with the biomarkers. And we've shown that we can substantially, this is a poster from Japan, obviously. We're also now on the market in Japan.
Yes.
With the AI, we can substantially improve what's called the sensitivity or the ability to find cancers versus the current approach where they just use, every marker has what's called a cutoff, a line. And those are not set with, and you mentioned at the beginning of the interview, precision medicine. We believe that for each individual, just looking at the standard cutoff is not good enough. Instead, we need to incorporate information about that individual and their risk for cancer.
Okay, so when you tell us about using the kind of the AI analytic, so can you just briefly introduce what is exactly the unique and advantages about the One Test?
Sure. So to the best of our knowledge, and we visited many health checks here in Taiwan, many in China, in Japan, and Korea. We're not aware of any of them currently that use any form of algorithms or any form of machine learning for the protein markers, which are commonly done. So we believe we're the first, and the advantage is that we also collect the patient's health history. So there's many benign diseases, many normal conditions or non-lethal diseases that can cause the biomarkers to go up. For example, cirrhosis of the liver will cause AFP to go up. Women, during certain parts of their menstrual cycle, will cause a rise of CA-125. So by collecting that information and utilizing the algorithm, we help eliminate false positives. So if a woman has a high CA-125, we will consider the fact, the algorithm considers the fact, it'll ask when is her menstrual period, when is her menstrual cycle. And we can, I just use that as an example. So we believe that we will substantially improve the ability of health check centers and of doctors here in Taiwan to make better use of these biomarkers that are already widely available and not very expensive. Not very expensive.
Okay. Not very expensive because the issue is always for the far the so-called early detection. But besides that, because for any early detection, I think that the accuracy, reliability, and the scientific report is, I think, is very important to us. Sure. But not every people can tell that. So can you just tell us, as a patient or the user, how can we tell what is the difference? Who choose a better product like one test?
Sure, and that's an important question. We are a science-based organization. Okay. One of the things that should give comfort to consumers that would use a test like this, and you asked about price. So in the United States, we find that most people are willing to pay under $200 once a year. Under $200
once a year.
Yeah, once a year. And I think in Taiwan it's similar. People, now in Taiwan, a lot of the employers will pay for the health checks.
Yes,
I understand.
Exactly.
So for our product, price is not an issue. We don't add a lot to the price. In terms of science, there's a concept of big data. And in short, the way we have an American expression or English expression, there's strength in numbers. Strength in numbers. So when you're getting a test that millions of other people around the world are also getting, and we are collecting that data, that makes the algorithm so much more powerful. Because we are using the same biomarkers and the same testing machinery that are used in thousands of labs around the world, in the United States, in China, in Europe, in Japan, that gives confidence of reliability so that the biomarker values, and these are automated instruments developed by large companies, not by us, so the testing machinery is not developed by us. We are providing the analytics. We are providing the machine learning software on the cloud. That's our part. That's our contribution. The testing machinery, the testing kits, are the same ones that they've used 10 years ago and 15 years ago here in Taiwan and all over the world. That gives reliability. Around this wonderful exhibit hall, there are dozens of startups and innovative companies offering many different tests, and they're very promising. They're very promising. However, whenever you use something that's brand new, there's always some risk. Exactly. With one test, you can be confident that the testing machinery and the testing kits are very well established and well regulated. So we provide a strong foundation that we build on with the big data and with the AI.
So I mean the big data is getting more and more, and that would be very important.
And that's I think it's a nice concept. So somebody who uses one test at their health check center is not only helping themselves, they may help to save the life of a stranger. That stranger could be a friend or family member here in Taiwan. It might be a stranger in the United States, or in the United Arab Emirates, or in Europe. I think that's a nice concept. It's very much like the concept of crowdsourcing, a popular concept now in many areas, crowdsourcing.
So It's nice. Well, we know the one test have so many benefits. So, and the cost is not an issue anymore, but it's exactly how often one should be tested?
So that's really a decision between the individual and their doctor. Some people might want to test more frequently, but in the United States, generally, it's probably a good idea once a year.
Once a year?
One time a year for normally.
Normally?
At about age 45. Here in Taiwan, they seem to start screening earlier. I see that even people in their 30s, maybe in their 40s. I think middle age.
Middle age.
However one defines that, maybe age 40 is reasonable. If they've had a family history or have had a lot of exposure to cigarettes or to other carcinogens, maybe a little younger in their 30s makes sense. But I think around age 40. Generally once a year, unless they have an ambiguous result. So usually the experts say that if a biomarker is very high or the score is very high, they should see a specialist and get some type of imaging. If it's slightly high or if it's ambiguous, getting the test at roughly repeating it at 2-month intervals or 60-day intervals to see the trends, the biomarker trends, is very, very important. Because benign diseases, generally the biomarkers should not rise, but for cancer, often the biomarkers will rise. So looking not at the single time point reading, but at the trend or the rise is very, very important.
Okay, so when we're talking about the early detection, finally, we needed to find the therapy solutions. So any early detection, somehow they still have some we so-called limitation. So can you tell us why is the limitation? We should be, be careful about the kind of the test, the limitation, all the strengths about kind of a test.
Well, no test is perfect. All tests have limitations, including ours, and we're very clear about that. You can never rely 100% on any test, whether it's ours or another one. But you asked about therapies. There's quite a bit of evidence in cancer that early detection saves lives. In lung cancer, for example, the 5-year survival rate of a screen-detected stage 1A, very early lung cancer, is about over 90% the survival rate.
Wow.
In contrast, if you wait until the late stage, stage 4, stage 4B, that survival rate is under 5%.
Wow.
Even with the wonderful new therapeutic approaches like immunotherapy or gene therapy, it's had only a modest impact on survival so far. So early detection seems to be still very, very important for cancer. And however early, even if it's stage 3 is better than stage 4, stage 2 is better than stage 3, and so on. The drugs that many of the companies here in this exhibit pavilion are demonstrating will tell you will work better the earlier the stage, because with cancer, as cancer spreads, it mutates.
Yes.
And the genetic makeup of a cancer in the lung might be different than metastatic, than the metastatic disease in the brain, for example. And that's why it's so difficult to treat. So the earlier you can detect, and hopefully you want to detect in stage 1 when it can be surgically removed before it spreads, then the patient has a great outcome.
Wow, so a good early detection product can really tell life and death.
It's all about saving lives. It's improving savings of lives. Again, early detection is not always going to be useful for every cancer. Some cancers that move very, very slowly don't benefit from early detection. And in contrast, some cancers that move very fast won't benefit from early detection or from annual. But there are many cancers, including lung cancer, non-small cell lung cancer, and also we believe pancreas cancer and liver cancer. So lung, liver, and pancreas that seem to benefit from annual testing. There's quite a bit of evidence of that.
So we are so happy, we have a kind of such good early detection here in Taipei. So can you just share us, since one test coming to Taiwan already, and how is your finance, your plan, or how do you want to developed in Taiwan or in the Asia?
Sure. Thank you for asking that. And actually, as this poster here suggests, we're actually on the market right now in Japan.
Yes.
And we expect, hopefully, to be on the market by August 8th, which I understand is Father's Day here in Taiwan.
Here in Taiwan?
We have 2 clinics, we believe, that are going to be offering this test so far.
You mean a Father's Day?
Yeah. Well, one of them is planning to have a promotion, so people can buy for their father. Children can buy a test for their father. So,
yes.
So one of them is in Taipei. The other is, I believe, in the southern part of Taiwan. That we hope will be ready by the end of August. So, just the beginning. We have a very strong partner here in Taiwan, a distributor here. So we're very optimistic about this market that will be here in Taiwan this year in 2019. Regarding financing, we've done something very interesting and very, I think, unique among biotech companies, at least in the United States. So in the United States, they changed the law a few years ago to allow people of all income levels to invest in a pre-IPO company. They created something called Regulation A or Reg A Plus, which allows companies to qualify, like us, to raise money from all people of all incomes. So we just raised $5 million through equity crowdfunding through the internet.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, and we also have with them, we have institutional investors. So Ping An of China, the Chinese insurance company, invest in our company. We have a Silicon Valley venture capitalist, in addition to thousands of individuals, because cancer doesn't care about how rich you are, right?
Yes.
So we want everyone to be part of what we're doing. So we will hopefully be also doing another round, and we would love to have Taiwan investors. We're talking to some venture capital firms this week. We have a lot of interest because Taiwan is where a lot of our data came from. We would like to have some Taiwan investors in our next round, which will probably begin in the fall.
Okay.
Probably begin in the fall.
So is it any possible you have another branch here in Taipei?
Well, we have. Yes, we do have a representative here named Mary. You can reach her. It's Mary W. Mary W. At 2020GENE.com. That's Mary W. at 2020GEN.com. She's our Taiwan employee here in Taiwan, and she works with a very capable group here that is working to promote our product.
Okay.
And people can reach her if they're interested. Yeah.
所以今天我们真的很开心，就又认识了一个很早期诊断的一个很好的商品，而且 One Test 最大的一个特色，它其实它很多的 sample 是跟整个那个台湾这边的医疗体系进行的合作，所以我们也很希望未来 One Test 呢能够持续的就在台湾发展，然后让我们这边的patient能够得到更多的益处。谢谢大家。